Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Manifesting Magic. Today's guest is Jen Cunnings, and she has been an energy healing practitioner for over 10 years. She is an intuitive empath and spiritual wellness coach using her gifts to empower her clients and students to step into who they are at the highest vibrational level. Welcome, Jen.
Thanks, Steph. Good to be here again.
Yay! Yes, you are.
Round two.
Round two. She's a repeat guest from last time, and also our second time recording within this this version.
Well,
so we've done a lot of recordings together.
Anyway. I wasn't going to share that part, but
I know. I don't know what happened. The technology gods were not in our favor. But anyways, very happy to have you back. So do you mind sharing with us what we're going to be talking about today and a little bit more about what you do?
Sure. So as you mentioned, I've been energy healing for a long time, and my practice has kind of evolved and basically what I have honed in on is beginning to communicate and work with our bodies to find distortions in our energy, to find stuck emotions or trauma, and essentially any issue we have in our lives, like if it's a pattern or something that's uncomfortable, if, let's say we have a lot of fear or unworthiness, or we keep attracting toxic relationships, we can identify the energy beneath that, and then we can actually communicate with the body to find it. So I began to work with my clients just kind of spontaneously and teaching them to communicate with their bodies so that we can essentially, it can be the first step in addressing anything, because every energy is contained in our bodies, right? In this human existence, we experience all of our everything through the vehicle of our bodies. Right. And the problem is that we've judged the ever loving heck out of our bodies. Like, we have made our bodies so wrong, and in this society, there's so much pressure to look a certain way. And so we've, compounded so much rejection and judgment that it's created a disconnect between us and our bodies. So I've come to find that when we reconnect with our bodies in a loving and accepting way, it can be the vehicle, like the catalyst for us to heal on many, many levels.
All right. And we're back after a little technological slip up. Anyways, so Jen, could you please share what some of the tools are that you use to see what these energies are within people?
Absolutely. So again, if we're in rejection and judgment of our bodies, we're certainly not in communication with our bodies. So I work with my clients to teach them how to connect. And I bring in all of the energy that I can tap, like a really expanded energy that, we all can tap, just we don't have the information. And I connect with them, I facilitate them connecting with their bodies, and then the bodies begin communicating back. Like, the bodies are like, oh, I'm being talked to. They're asking me questions. I can help. I've been communicating and nobody's listening to me. Yeah. So I work with them to teach them how to do that. And 9.5 times out of 10, once we start communicating with a simple intention and with, me facilitating the space and the client receptive to that, the body communicates. The body begins to talk, and it leads us. It's like a guide that says, okay, go here, and we can ask some questions, and go here, and we can ask some questions. And we begin to have that dialogue. And then ultimately, reinforcing that outside of the sessions, of course. Yeah. But I'm a, what do you call it? Like an intuitive empath in terms of like the clairsentient. And so when I connect with my clients, I feel in my body the distortions or the blocks or the density in their bodies. Yeah. And so even if they can't connect, then I can, guide them, because ultimately we all can connect. We just have shut a lot of that down. Right. And so, so I'm all about empowering people to use this as a vehicle to not just release judgment, because that's huge, right? Yeah. Releasing judgments of our bodies is phenomenal, but also to know that when we can communicate with our bodies can be our guide to healing. Right. So that's kind of the surface in terms of what we do. And then of course, going deeper, it's a little bit more specific.
Yeah. So what happens when we are in judgment of our bodies?
That's an awesome question. Okay. Any judgment, whether it's judgment of our bodies, judgment of someone else, judgment of the weather.
Yeah, I'm just going to stop there for a second, because I feel like when I hear judgment of bodies, I think of maybe someone with like weight struggles, but it can also be like someone with chronic pain, or what are the things that you see come up in your practice, or what do you mean by judgment?
All of it. Any criticism, any energy that's unloving, any energy that says, I don't like you, I don't want it this way, I wish it were this way, I like this about this person. So weight obviously is a huge one. And that's where my journey began, having weight and at a really young age, and then, receiving all the judgments around me, and then having that be a really like a foundation in which my whole existence operated from, in a really non-beneficial way. And so when we have judgment, whether it's of our bodies, our weight, our nose, our thighs, our feet, whatever, or we even have judgments about what's wrong with someone else, we create an energetic separation. We create, this is you, this is me, I'm good, you're bad, you're good, I'm bad. And obviously I'm simplifying this. But on this journey in these bodies, we are here experiencing what separation is like. When I say that, I mean, like, we don't feel connected to the whole. We don't feel connected to source. We don't feel connected to the oneness. And so as we are able to identify the judgments that we experience in the day-to-day, and we begin to bring those into acceptance, love, unity, harmony, and a reconnection, then that opens us up to access the wholeness of ourselves, of the universe. So, and if you can think about every time in your life, maybe even just what you have thought about this morning in terms of a judgment of, oh, I should be doing this, or I wish this person would do this. Even these little nuances give us information and feedback of where we are not in connection. And, I imagine the audience who's listening, like, if you've ever had a really, deep meditation experience, and then you come out of that, it's like there's this sense of vast expansiveness, and this sense of, like, when you come into somebody's presence, even if they're not in a good space, you can feel the love. And so to me, that's like what the goal is to have this loving relationship with ourselves and being able to share that. And that shifts the whole planet, right? Like, to me, this is like what we're here to do, is to raise consciousness and allow ourselves to tap into this unconditional love that's within. And we can find where we're not that, where we're in separation a lot of times with what's going on in our bodies, or, like I said, what our judgments and points of view are in the world around us. But with many of the I've worked with, thousands of sessions, hundreds of clients, I have yet to meet one person who says, I love myself and my body unconditionally. So we can start with what's present, and then we can open up space to see, like, okay, what's needing love? What's needing acceptance? What's needing integration?
So what are some of the results then that your clients see after you've worked with them?
Well, if you think about judgment and judgment of our bodies being separation, like when we separate and we judge, let's say pain might get actualized, or weight tends to stay on, or, emotional issues tend to repeat. So if, like, I've got a few, and I think I told a different one on our last take, but, one that stands out right now is I had a woman who had chronic, like 20 years of shoulder pain, and it was like in her neck and her shoulder. And so we just began to communicate with it. And I taught her everything I'm just sharing with you and what we're going to go through in the meditation. And she left our session one day after we really concentrated a lot of energy on this part. And a couple days later, it actually got worse. Like, the actual pain intensified. And she said it was almost so bad she took her breath way. So she just began to ask questions, to bring compassion, to, let that part of her body know that she was here. And within like a really short amount of time, the sincerity that she had, because it wasn't about making the pain go away. It was about really showing up for this part of herself. Because the pain wasn't necessarily an injury. It was an emotional energy she had been hanging on to. And so through that experience, it went away. Like it was gone.
Wow.
And she actually dropped like a ton of weight.
Wow.
And so I think that there's so many different results that we get when we start to open up to ourselves. It could be anything from leaving toxic relationships to making more money to stepping more into our purpose. And so I just look at like my clients and myself, like this is a process of unfolding for us to really, I don't love the word heal, but it's healing the relationship with ourselves. And when we heal our relationship with ourselves and our bodies, we're able to manifest, right? Your whole platform here. We're able to bring in more than we've ever thought possible. We're able to create beyond limitations because separation is limitation, right? Separation is a belief that we are infinite. So when we come from that perspective and we start to dissolve these layers of separation, dissolving these judgments, our sense of love and our energy gets bigger, brighter, more expansive. And in that, we remember that the capacity to create is like universal. Like if the universe can create worlds and stars and planets and all these amazing things, and we are that, like what's not possible, right? So that's the bigger
Beautiful.
picture.
Absolutely. So how are some ways that people can communicate with their bodies at home, if they aren't able to, come see you or book a session with you?
Sure. And I think that might be best to experience, but just at a high level. And I'll walk you out. We'll walk ourselves through that. And then we'll bring in a little light language to assist energetically in that experience. But like step one, be still, lay down, sit down, take some breaths, get your feet on the earth. And even without an expectation of changing anything, just greeting your body and saying, I'm here, I'm listening. Maybe there's something specific that you want to ask your body, but a lot of times what I do is just ask the bodies, like, what needs attention right now? What is within me that feels scared, alone, unworthy, separate? Because if you think about the energy of separation, it's a disconnect. So if I'm not connected, the part of me I'm separate from more than likely is feeling a little rejected or some kind of energy to that effect. So it's like, what parts of me need love right now? Body, show me, body, show me what needs my love, what needs my attention. Just be. And if nothing happens, that's totally fine, because this is a practice. We've spent so much time judging. We've spent so much time judging our bodies, whether it's weight, whether it's, emotional pain, whether it's, whatever, that when we begin to engage and reinforce and practice, our bodies begin to trust us again. And we begin to open up that communication.
Yeah.
And I have found that it's not an easy fix. It's something that definitely, like meditation, it requires your attention. It requires an investment of your time and your focus.
So what are some of the tools that you then use to help move the energy? I know you mentioned light language, which I would love to get into as well.
Sometimes I don't even know, Steph. And this is I think I've just been working with energy so long that I know we can easily move energy when we're in allowance. So I just bring through that belief. Like, so with our intentions, we can shift molecules, we can shift frequency. And so I've done enough to where I know I can connect into a body and help move energy.
Mm.
Like, and we all have this capacity. I've just had a lot of practice at it. And so like, I just call in and ask to get my ego self out of the way to call in the highest frequencies of energy. And then I work in tandem with the client. But I just find that, I guess to answer your question in the most simple way, when we bring our intention and we bring our love to the table, like, we can shift and move and create anything, you know, and it maybe takes a little time, but I just find that if people are willing to receive, then they can allow the energies to come in, and my job is to help facilitate that experience.
Beautiful. What are some of the most common things that you see in your practice, or the most common conditions or injuries or things that people hold in their bodies?
So 110% of my clients are empaths. So they tend to be sensitive, even if they don't know it. They tend to take on the energy of other people. They tend to be people pleasing. They tend to not really know who they are and what they want at a real deep level, because they've spent so much time making sure everyone else is happy. And so that shows up in a lot of ways in terms of the, how it manifests in someone's life. It can manifest in illness. It can manifest in depression, anxiety, a lot of fear, a lot of unworthiness. And so when I work with my clients and the empaths, and an empath is kind of a label, but just for the sake of conversation, it's like, we need to unravel all the layers of separation we've created within ourselves, because we've projected it out onto the external world. And a lot of empaths seek love and validation and worthiness externally. So we're letting go of all the separations that have been created so that they can access that true source of love within themselves. And so that's my core people, because that's me, right? Like, so I'm attracting all the work I've done on myself. I'm attracting everyone who's got that similar energy, because I truly believe we're here to access that infinite potential. And I truly believe that every single person has this. And some are not really necessarily interested in doing it in this lifetime, and that's fine. But I find that the ones who come to me are the ones that are like, okay, I know there's something out there for me. Not even out there, in there. Like, I know there's gifts, there's purpose, there's a passion that I have not yet allowed to express itself through me. And it's tapping into their creative capacities and tapping into what's true for them, and remembering that there's a uniqueness within themselves that doesn't look like the rest of the world. We think the rest of the world wants it to look like. So it's just shedding a lot of the stuff that we bought into about ourselves and allowing that emergence to come through, because that's so unique. So I notice, like, if we try to do it like somebody else, we've created separation within ourselves. If we have a judgment of they're better, I'm less than, we've created a separation. It's like, my job is to help people find all those. And again, the body being a really easy roadmap to find those layers of separation, so then we can access that true divine conscious self.
So let's talk about the light language now.
Mm-hmm.
What is it, first of all?
Mm-hmm. So the light language for me, I was aware of light language for actually many years, and it just started to come through for me while I was driving in the car, just humming, singing, not along to the radio, not along to any music. And I think this is an important distinction in the sense of, we all have the capacity to access healing through our voices. And it can come through not even just our voice, it can come through art and things like that. So when we allow an energy to come through us, for me, it came through in light language, which is sound and speaking, and it's morphing. It's still changing, because it also will come through in toning or humming or even singing. And so I find that it's like, I've been doing energy work through my body and my hands for like, since 20 years when I first took my first Reiki class. This is a little different, that I'm still trying to kind of discern for myself the distinction. Now, of course, you can kind of Google it, and it talks about just, it goes past the cognitive mind into the cells, into the DNA, and just allowing that person to be in an optimal state. People who receive it, I do a healing circle every Friday, and people are welcome to join via Zoom. If any of your audience is interested, it's only $10. They just report just a really deep sense of peace and connection. Oftentimes they'll hear messages, and even they'll say they hear different voices come through me that is like adjacent to what they're hearing. It's really bizarre. I've had some really interesting experiences. But essentially, it's allowing us to just receive an energy without trying to, intellectualize it.
Yeah.
And there's not a direct translation. Okay. It's like if you were to translate love, right? There's no, like, you could describe what love is like a million different ways, and somebody is not going to get it till they receive it.
Yeah. All right. Well, will you give us a sample?
Sure. Do you want to do a little meditation with bodies? Do we have enough time to do both?
Absolutely.
Okay. Absolutely. All right. So we'll just do a quick little connection with our bodies, and then we'll conclude that with the light language with the intention for everyone who's listening to be in a space of receiving and to deepen their connection, so that, if you decide to practice with your bodies, that you've got a greater ease and a clearer communication with your bodies. So,
okay, beautiful.
All right. Okay. So I'll just invite everybody, and if, you're driving or listening right now, maybe pause it and come back later. And we'll just begin by taking some slow, deep breaths. Really feeling your energy settle into your body. Notice any places of tension or tightness, and just breathe into those. So often in our busy lives, we get scattered, we're in our heads. And if we just could take some time to be in our bodies, like, there's so much peace there. Imagining your feet on the earth, creating a syncing up, like a plugging into the earth's energy. We can imagine plugging all the way down into the core of the earth, or whatever grounding practice you might have. And we're simply bringing our intention to connect with our bodies right now, connect with our earth right now. And it can be a simple statement. I now connect into my body. I now connect into the consciousness, the intelligence of my body. And we're just greeting our bodies and being with the physical sensation of that connection. And we're asking all aspects of our energy, of our consciousness, of our divinity to be present here and connected to our bodies. So anywhere we've given our energy away, our power away, let's call that back now. Breathe it in. Any energy you might be holding or containing in your body that doesn't belong to you, on the next exhale, I want you to release it. I now release any and all energies that are not supporting me, are not benefiting me, any energies that do not belong to me. I transmute them. I release them. And I invite you to connect into your heart space. And in this heart space, there is a pure, divine light, Christ light, your essence of your soul. And we're going to connect into this light, and we're going to turn it up. And as you're doing this, You are connecting deeply into all aspects of your being, your body, your emotions, your multidimensional self, your infinite self. We're going to expand that light from our hearts out into our bodies and into our fields, creating a container, a sacred space, so that we are in the purest light. And I always ask that my light, the love that I am, be in alignment with true source light, true source love. Everything that's not that, letting that go. And back to our bodies now. Hello, body. Body, can you show me what needs attention in this moment? Body, where am I in separation? Body, is there something within me now that is asking for my love and asking for my attention and my acceptance? And as that question is expressed, we just allow the body to respond in whatever way the body responds. It may be a physical sensation, it may be a visual, it may be a tightness, it may be a knowing. So just whatever that is for you, without analysis, just breathe your breath and your focus into whatever part of your body is being shown to you or communicated to you. And if nothing shows up for you, I want you to just continue to breathe into your body as a whole. And if there is a particular part of your body, I want you just to begin asking, body, what do you need from me right now? What attention can I give you? What comfort, nurturing, compassion, and love? And is there anything else specific that I need to share with you, to give you? Body, do you have any information you need to share with me? Is there anything else I need to know about this? So we're going kind of fast with these questions, and when you do this on your own, I would recommend to go a little slower with these questions and just be open to this, just like talking with a friend. You're sharing, they're sharing, you're asking questions, you're allowing that response to come through. So we're just bringing in this beautiful, loving, accepting light now that just wants to come through for everybody listening in this moment. Any part of you needing this reconnection, this dissolving of separation through unconditional love, we're going to ask the light of your heart, ask the light of source to come in and wrap this part of you, all of you, into the oneness, into the light of you. And we can bring in the intention of, I love and accept you just as you are. I am here for you. I commit to communicating with you, to continue to listen, to continue to hear you and receive you. I am asking that all of me, my higher consciousness, be open to receive all that I am, all of my body. I ask to love, accept, and receive, integrate, and bring into the light of me, into the oneness and the wholeness now. And I continue, and I will continue to communicate with my body, seeking anything that's not part of this love and this wholeness. So we'll now bring in the light language to support you in this experience. Just receiving now. Ne asosa kiasa ne esotori ka ne eshotori kiasa tadamo orkoso. Pana ere satahiene ne sotori amorikete enere shotorukuri shatisi tasata asadane. Bosate esototihenari sitikia asata kure shatiki. And I'm just hearing that it's time to accept how powerful you are. Anywhere you've been hiding from yourself, anywhere you have been not accepting the infinite, powerful light and love that you are, we're asking that to clear and dissipate so that you might truly embody, receive, accept, and express the powerful, infinite light and love that you are through the body that you are currently in. Hone e sato kuria shate mere soto ku ia sata kiene ere e tero kurea sata yani. Oro oro sotoro kara ara shata hienere sata konimi. Iare sheto kuru shata sate kanimi ire sotoro kure shetukusia. Etere sato dia marakore ere sotoruanere shotoro kure sata. Hianara satakua nere mere sotorianara kia shotoku anaresi. Homara satayanere ketoro kuro shotoro kwara yanamiriki. Pere sotoriana morokuru shotoro kwa satayanere ke sotorianami. And if you decide, if you would like to perhaps hum, chant, or even tone or sing as you're receiving this, activating the sound in your body, because you are your own healing instrument and sound is a big part of that. So I'll just invite you to do that now. Bosa shane satoya nemere ketoria sotorukusa shaneme e satukusa tikiani. Boroko nara sata ore shate sata yene emere kiso. Honare sata de ero shata da sa yanare sata ore keremere satukiana. So we're just asking to open up all the energy centers in your body for this free flow of expression of you, of communion with you, receiving in that source light, all in this beautiful harmonic dance, balancing, enlightening, and brightening all layers, all aspects of you now in your body. Honere sata oriamare shotoriana karosotor koreshate ere sata kienere satoria mariana. Hoyanara satoro kore sata hienere soturi kinemere soturi kienere sotoriana. And I'll just invite you now to bring your energy into your body, feeling the full connection, feeling the connection to the lower part of your body, into the earth, letting all this energy settle in. And just taking some nice, slow, conscious, deep breaths, perhaps stretching, perhaps letting your body move. The energy that is light language comes through sound, it comes through movement, it comes through art, through writing. And so we're just going to ask everybody here to open up to how this energy desires to express itself through you. Thank you. Thank you, Steph.
Yes, that was beautiful. Thank you so much.
I went a little quickly because I wanted to cover, some of the things, but I would definitely, in that practice of communing with your body, slow that down, like really be present.
Yeah.
But at least you have some.
Go back and listen to this and pause it and really take time with it, right?
Yeah, I wanted to give you the content so that you had, the reference points. But I would definitely recommend to just, sit with some of those questions, perhaps write down the ones that, seem relevant to you and, take the time. So I wanted to, get it all in there for you guys.
Thank you. Appreciate it. And do you have anything else that you wanted to share before we get into your free gifts?
just like I said, $10 every Friday, there's a healing circle that you can join via Zoom. And we do sound bowls with the light language, and there's usually a collective theme that comes up. So that's just a really easy offering.
Yeah.
I'll record those. And then if anyone's interested in going to Mount Shasta next year, I've got 2 spots left in this beautiful magical retreat. So you could check out my website to learn more about that. And I've got some other offerings too.
Yeah. Will you share your website?
Yeah, it's jencunnings.com. So you can book a session there. You can learn about classes and upcoming events. If you'd like a personalized light language activation, I can do that as well, where I don't even necessarily, we don't even need to, connect via the Zoom or phone. I can just record it for you.
Okay,
but
great.
Sessions are always awesome too.
Yeah. And then your free gift is a body love meditation, right?
Yeah. So there's 2. There's a morning one and a PM one. And they're just kind of really simple and brief, but just to reinforce that energy of connecting and loving the body. Yeah. And then the second gift is those meditations, as well as 12, and I may add some additional ones, but it'll be a private playlist that you can access through SoundCloud that has these activations you can listen to over and over again to deepen, and there's a lot of different types of body activations, and that really everything from releasing weight to listening to creating the optimal body to I can't even think right now, but there's a bunch of different varieties in the light language transmissions. So
beautiful. And that's the paid offer, correct?
Yes. So the first 2 meditations are the free gift, and then the second is the free gift plus the activations
for $22, correct?
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. All right, Jen, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your amazing gifts with us. And thank you to everyone watching at home. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks everyone for listening. Lots of love to y'all.